my pre-AP lovelies. I'm coming to you live from inside the classroom, giving you percent of change. So now that I have your attention. So today we're going to talk about percent of change. All week we've been talking about percents, right? And so percents, talking about tips. Tips are added to the bill, taxes added to the bill, discount subtracted from the bill, and stuff like that. But today we're going to talk about, well, how percent can change. Well, percent can change in an increase or a decrease. So let me give you an example. When the Xbox came out, it wasn't as expensive as it is now. It was just like $199. Some you could get for $99. Well, when they came out with the Xbox One, because they added all these features and things to it, they jacked up the price on it. So now the Xbox One is like $499. It's $500, you know. And that doesn't include buying the game, buying everything else. We're just talking about the game system. $499. So this company had a large percent increase. They had a large percent change. This is a percent increase for the Xbox company. Same thing with the PS4. The PS3 was like $199 when you bought it in the store. Now the PS4 is like $399 because this is a system change. Every year they come out with more game systems, better game systems, and these game systems cost more and more money because they add more and more features. But let's talk about how a company could have a percent decrease, because that can happen. Let's look at the iPhone. When Apple first came out with the iPhone was like the best thing on the market. It was like touchscreen. Nobody knew what to do with it. It was like the hottest thing on the market, right? But it cost so much money because the person that made it was Apple. Apple was the only company that had this phone. So that phone was like $700, $800 when it first came out. And of course, if you got a new contract or something, you could buy it for $199 if you committed to like a two-year contract with the Apple, with the AT&T company. Well, now everybody and their mama got an iPhone. You can buy it through Sprint, you can buy it through AT&T, you can buy it through Verizon. Everybody has an iPhone. So now it's competition with AT&T, so they can no longer sell their phones for like $700-800. Now they're selling them for like $1, $199, $299, because it's no longer just secluded in one company. Now everybody makes an iPhone. So in that company's case, that could be a percent decrease because they're no longer selling this phone no more for $700-800. They're selling it for $200. So they're not making as much money off of it as they were in the past. So you can describe percent of change. It's all about a percent increase or a percent decrease of something or of a product. So just like percent, we had a formula for that. Our percent formula, and this is just regular percents, remember, was part over whole equals percent over 100. This is just regular percents. Well, our percent of change formula is now just a little bit different. It is the difference over original equals percent over 100. So there are some similarities here in the formula. They both have a percent over 100 because they're both dealing with percent. But what changes now is the difference in the original part. So I want to talk to you about what each one of these mean. Well, first of all, in math, what does difference mean? Well, anytime we find the difference of something, difference means to subtract. Just that simple. Whenever you find the difference of something, you subtract. So if I'm looking at the Xbox and it used to cost $199, but the new one costs $399 or let's say $499, then I want to subtract those differences. Those differences are $499 minus $199, which equals $300. So that will be the difference, $300. Well, the original is always what was the original product or the original cost. So you always want to know what the first one was. So the first Xbox was $199. So that will be the original cost. So the original means the first, the very beginning. Very beginning, the very first one, the original, the one that came out. So I always think of it like that. What is the difference between the regular percent and the percent of change? Well, the regular percent, we're comparing parts to wholes. Well, the percent of change, we're comparing our differences and our originals. We're comparing the difference between the old one and the new product to the original product, to the very first product that was made. So on the back of your paper, here's our practice problem for today. So I'm going to give you 4 different examples here. 4 different examples. And we're going to use those examples that we were talking about earlier. So we got the Xbox. It was original $199. Oops, sorry, $199. That's $199. And it is now $499. Ooh, I don't know why Miss Sanders keep putting that. Let me rewrite that. I don't know why I kept doing that. That looks a whole lot better. Alright, let's look at the PS3 to the PS4. So it was original $199, and now the PS4 is $399. Alright, let's look at not the Xbox, but the iPhone. When the iPhone first came out, it was $700. But now the iPhone is $199. So let's just say $200. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to figure out which one of these is has the greatest percent of change. So we want to locate which one is a percent decrease, which one's a percent increase. Well, we can already tell that Xbox had an increase because they went from $199 to $499. So did PS3. But the iPhone actually had a percent decrease. But we want to still see who had the greatest percent of change, because the iPhone could have the greatest percent of change even if it's a decrease. So what we want to do is we want to set up our formula. Our formula is difference over original equals percent over 100. So let's set that up. The Xbox had the original price was $199. That's going to go on the bottom. The difference between both of these, I have to subtract $499 minus $199, which is $300. And we're looking for the percent. So this is our X. And then we'll just solve the way we know how to solve. Times by 100 on both sides. And then you can go from there. Let's look at the PS3 to the PS4. Our difference is $200. Our original is $199. And again, I get the difference because I subtract the original from what it is now, and I get 200. The original is $199. We're looking for the percent out of 100. And then last, the iPhone, which is the difference is 500. The original was 700, and we're still looking for the percent. So I want you to solve these problems and tell me which one had the greatest percent of change when we come back to class. Make sure you know. And it could be the one with the decrease, it could be the one with the increase, but I just want you to tell me which one has the greatest percent of change. Make sure your numbers are correct. Bye.